Captain's Jug of Thoughts podcast. Recorded at the Ontario House. The Stone Jug.
We used to stop and buy a out the top of Davidson Park. We used to be home in the morning, now we're home before dark. And you're a Taurus sliding out before the city was up. These things are for us now, the more of us are feeling unstuck.
Cool. All right, Captain's Jug of Thoughts. We're in the captain's quarters.
Yep.
Is that what it's called
Yeah.
on the ship?
Sure. We can call it that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the captain's quarters is, I guess, technically in the back.
This is kind of the side because it's attached to the jug. We're in Cap's apartment.
Yeah.
And it's this building that's attached to the other building that is the jug. There's the back of the jug and then attached to the main old stone jug.
Right.
So it's kind of a ship, dude.
It's kind of a ship.
It's all together. We could
Yeah.
lodge this thing out of the ground, take it across the street, and sail that shit to Canada.
We really could. And we could get there in about 3 minutes.
We're in the bridge. Is that what it is? No, the bridge is where he looks out over.
Yeah, the bridge is also in the back.
Yeah.
It's off the back of the captain's quarters.
Most of my boat knowledge is from that Wes Anderson movie. Steve Zissou. So, yeah, we just had quite the meal as well. Fucking Chef Cap tonight.
Yeah, a little dinner.
What was on the menu?
So we had a grouper that I cooked with some Cajun seasoning and a Cointreau Noir.
Oh.
Cointreau Noir is a liqueur.
Yeah. I thought it was a wine. It sounds like a wine.
It does sound like a wine, but it's a liqueur quite.
It sounds like a fancy film award. Like when you see the trailer for a movie, like the thing with the leaves around it come up, winner of the Cointreau Noir
Yeah.
the Barcelona Film Festival.
Uh-huh. But it came out pretty good.
It was fucking delicious.
Yeah. And then I did like a stir fry with I don't know, a half a dozen different types of vegetables.
Yeah,
and then,
peppers and
broccoli, carrots, all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
And then added some sliced andouille sausage, smoked andouille sausage.
Spicy sausage.
Yeah, so
It was one of those ones
we did like
where,
a sweet hot thing for dinner here.
Yeah. It was one of those where you get to like your fourth or fifth piece of sausage, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm sweating."
Yeah,
I'm on fire now.
It's definitely got some kick. So good job to the Natural Link there.
Oh, shout outs Natural Link, absolutely.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. I got the grouper from them, and I got the andouille sausage from them. So
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
they are. They have really, really good stuff there. So
I know. Now we're both like in a food coma.
I know. I'm like, so what was my next thought? But
And for dessert, we brought the Twix ice cream bars.
which are delicious as well.
But I feel like that's not a new thing. You guys are both
not.
like, oh, all right. I don't know. I thought you guys were both like, the what? I thought you meant like they just came out. I'm pretty sure I remember those being around.
Yeah, no, I think they've been around for a little while. I think the one that I had the other day, the initial one that I had,
The one that started this whole thing.
yeah, it was a triple chocolate,
Okay.
and it had like a cookie base underneath.
See, that sounds new.
And yes, that one I'm pretty sure was. I think it said new on the box.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, next time, we need to sync that out. Shout outs to the
that
Twix
sounds
Company. Shout outs Nabisco. You guys are really pushing the envelope with that. You're pushing it into new territory.
Yeah. It's delicious.
Yeah. Good stuff. What's been going on at the Jug? What happened since we last left? I feel like it's been like a year since the last show.
It's weird like that. Like we only really backed it up one day.
Yeah, we really did.
But that one day, it seems like, man, it's been like a month.
I know. What is this show about again?
Yeah.
Is this a show about sausage and group? It seems to be.
Yeah, well, tonight a little bit.
Well, we did a Sunday. We had a Sunday. Me and Pete.
Yeah,
not me and Pete. Me and Andy played.
No, you and Andy played, and we had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a really good
It's
time.
really chill.
Yeah. So we're apparently now not going to be the only place in town doing that.
Oh yeah, there's a turf war.
So I don't know if I would call it a turf war. I'm hoping that it benefits both places, but somewhere
We gotta have a sit down.
has come up with a novel idea to have a Sunday series where they play music outside and have drink specials and cute girls working. I'm like, that was our idea.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been doing that for 4 weeks. And kudos to them. Like, and
Well,
hopefully
you
that,
guys got the jump on it. You're the
we definitely got the jump on it, but hopefully that will bring out
We'll start
the bikers.
No, every Sunday. No, we're going to war. Sabotage each one. I'm playing both sides because I'm going to play at both of them.
Yeah.
I know. I see that post. I didn't even really think of it. I just saw like, oh shit, a gig. I need that.
Right.
But you do like you pull pranks on each other every Sunday, like rival summer camps across the lake.
But I am like, I'm optimistic about the fact that like, because they have a little bit of a different following than we do. I think that, we can get a lot of bikers out.
Yeah,
I
if it
think.
gets people to come down here and then make both, multiple stops.
Right. And, if you go over there, you watch the first set of the band, and then
Yeah.
you're like, hey, the Jug's got music too. Let's go watch the second half of their band, and vice
Depending
versa,
on what the time, where it lines up time wise.
Exactly. So it's 4 to 7. I don't even know what time they're doing it, to be honest, over there, but it's 4 to 7 at the Jug.
Yeah,
And maybe theirs is earlier, or maybe it's later,
we'll figure it out.
or maybe it's the exact same time and a turf war is about to break out.
That's funny.
So,
That's what happens in the small town of 3 bars.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got 3 whole ones.
We were just walking around when we got here tonight. It's a really nice night out, and we're walking around
Beautiful.
Youngstown, and it's so quiet. The only thing you hear is like people at the Jug on the porch. You
Yep.
can hear them from. That's the only sound in the town. And we're walking through the park, and I'm like, I feel like I'm on like a movie set. Like a set of like an old 50s movie about like a small town. Because like everything's a little too perfect. There's nobody here. There's no sound. There's no
Yeah.
nothing. It's a cool little town.
It is. And it's
I don't
that
walk
park
around
is
here that
so
much.
nice. It's all
Yeah.
brick walkways all through it. It's a perfect place for
We were saying
know.
it was kind of like The Outsiders.
yeah.
Like, she was like, I'm getting a real pony boy vibe. 'Cause
Nice.
It was like they were in a park at night and they had to cut his hair and bleach his hair. They stabbed that guy.
Yep.
I remember reading that book when I was like, in fucking middle school or something.
Sure.
Too young to be reading a thing. And I'm like, this is what older kids do.
Yeah.
They stab each other and they get drunk at the drive-in and sexually harass Diane Lane and then stab each other. This is terrible. So when I would like be a little kid at the park and see older kids, I'm like, they're gonna stab me.
They're gonna stab me. Run. Run.
Stay gold.
That's funny. That's Matt's nickname.
Yeah, you said there's a pony boy. Here.
Yeah, Matt Castello is
Really?
Pony Boy. Yeah.
Who does?
I don't know why Jerry Duncan calls him Pony Boy all the time. He's like, "You seen Pony?" Every time I see him, he's like, "You seen Pony?"
That's funny.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I see him like almost every day." He's like, "What's he doing?"
He's staying gold.
He's like being an idiot. And I'm like, "I don't know what he's doing, man." He was like landscaping and shit today. He's like, Pony.
Classic pony.
It's so funny. Like, I'm like, I don't know what any of that meant. But I'm laughing, so it must have been good.
Yeah. Classic pony.
Yeah, so we got, obviously we got you playing again this weekend.
Yeah, Friendly Foes.
Friendly Foes are
will be
back.
Sunday.
Yep.
If you hear this before then, and if you hear this after Sunday, it's a great time. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
And hopefully you were there.
Yeah. We're going to do, like we always try to do different stuff. I'm going to bring the banjo, and Pete's going to bring his little drum box, and we're going to play some funky old swampy bluegrass. We kind of accidentally started doing that the other night. We're like, we'll just come do that.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's something new. Keep it
It's
fresh.
awesome. Yeah, definitely. You guys are always good about that, and I love it.
Yeah, because we have, a lot of the same people keep coming back, and we want them to keep coming back. So always
Exactly.
do something new and fun and make it, so we can have fun too.
Right.
And it's a very chill vibe back there,
Yeah. It's fantastic. The setup we have, I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And everyone that, like, there was a bunch of people there for their first time this past Sunday because it was a beautiful day. So, you know, people are around town riding their bikes, people are out walking, and all of a sudden they're like, where's that music coming from, you know?
Yeah.
And so they stop by, they have a quick beer, watch 3 or 4 songs, and then move on with the rest of their day, which is part of our goal, quite frankly. Like,
Yeah.
it's just somewhere to give everyone like an extra half an hour or hour or maybe 3 hours out of their day to do something different and have a good time doing it.
Like a wind down of the weekend.
It totally is.
You know.
And yeah, I think it's a really good thing. People though they saw the outdoor bar, and because we made some changes to it this year, and to make it nicer, like much nicer, and
There's more room in there.
there's a lot more room.
It's a big window.
And,
which I have ideas about the window.
Yeah,
Remember, we're gonna put a tank in behind it. It's like there's the bar. It's a big barn. If no one's ever been there.
yeah,
And there's the bar, and behind the bar, instead of a wall, is a big window.
yeah,
Big
gigantic.
yeah, like the whole wall is a window. It's really cool. It opens the whole space up. It makes it feel fresh, and it's really cool. So I'm saying we put a tank in at the window, and then you have people swimming, girls dressed as mermaids, swimming in the tank like in Vegas.
Yeah.
But
So if anyone out there has Vegas money
yeah,
that they want to get rid of, we'll take it and put a tank in.
I'd say heating in the tank is optional. All right. Well, we're only going to have it in the summer. It's going to be pretty warm. We'll
Right.
just run the hose into the tank. I'll
The
fish.
mermaids won't mind.
We're going to put a jar out to collect money for a skimmer so we can get some of them leaves out for you. Pretty sure there's a dead squirrel in there, too. But, yeah.
And then
And-
there's the black cat that lives in the rafters.
There's a black cat in the rafters. There's a lot going on in Youngstown, man. We're also going to have our friend, we were discussing having somebody have one of those big spinny signs that says live music with an arrow.
Yeah.
And, like, stand it on the sidewalk and spin it.
Yeah.
And then our buddy Shane's like, you give me a couple beers, I'll go out there. Bring me a beer every 15 minutes. I'll be out there for an hour. We got that. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to have to dress him up as a mascot. We got to get a jug mascot, though.
Yeah, like a big jug costume, like the logo. Where, like his head is sticking out the top of the jug, and then his arms, and
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. Like a dude outside of like a cell phone place or a Mexican restaurant or something. Obviously the advertisement didn't work because I don't know what it was for. I just saw a guy spinning a sign with like a wacky costume on, and I'm like, what fucking year is it? Do you still do this?
It was probably a T-Mobile guy.
I don't know, man. It obviously didn't work because I don't know what business it was for.
Right.
I said either a cell phone place or a Mexican place. I don't even know. I'm not even anywhere near the bullseye on what this place was.
Yeah.
So terrible advertising.
Terrible advertising, whoever you are.
Not like us. Yeah, Sunday will be fun.
Yeah, Sunday's going to be a really good time. The whole rest of the summer is going to be great. Like we've got a bunch of good bookings coming up. We've got the patio and the view is just outstanding right now. The weather's perfect right now for it. So we've had a lot more people eating eating lunch on the patio, obviously, and it's going good. It's going real good. Gotta love Youngstown.
Yeah, dude, it's like an escape. It's like we were saying. It's like I don't know. It's like feels like a vacation town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's towns you go to that are just function towns.
Right.
Like, there's a gas station and a grocery store with the bare essentials and then a bunch of matching houses or apartment buildings. Like this feels like a vacation town.
Yeah.
Where you go like Cape Cod or some shit. You know what I mean?
There was people in the bar about a month ago, and where are they from? Somewhere in Iowa. And they were talking, and I caught a Midwest accent, and so I asked them, they're like, well, we're from Iowa. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, we decided to go for a drive. And I'm like, excuse me?
Dude, you have a ridiculous amount of probably on the run people. You keep getting weird answers. No, why are you asking? Just, we just felt like leaving Iowa.
This is like the town where all the people that are on the run come to.
If anybody asks, we've been here since 4, okay?
Yeah, I know. So, but they were like, man, this town is beautiful. They're like, it's like straight out of a movie set, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, yeah, it really is. You know, it's great. I absolutely love this town, and it's got a lot of history, as we've spoken about a bunch of times, and I think that's part of the beauty of it, and part of what draws people in.
It's kind of colonial,
for sure.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, come on down. Aren't we making it sound appetizing?
And if we become friends, maybe I'll have you over for dinner too.
Yeah. And come over and get some fucking grouper.
That's right. That's right.
I have, like we've said, we've texted each other like weird phrases.
Yep.
To like remind us of things to talk about on the show, just stories that come up.
Yep.
So I've started notes.
All right.
And I sent you a screenshot of them, and it really does.
I was dying laughing.
It's like when you like an old movie about like a witch or something, and she makes her stew, and she's like the eyeball of a fox, and the essence
exactly.
of a turtle or something. Like you're like, what is this? Egg-bound chicken. That's a good one. Dude, this is absolutely. You're wearing a Dead shirt, so we'll bring this up.
Okay.
This is absolutely. I'm going to say 99% urban legend bullshit. Some rumor somebody started.
Okay.
But I read on something that when Jerry died, they were doing the autopsy and all that.
Yeah.
And they found, like, in his stomach, a small brass key and the oxidation tarnish. I totally think this is fake, but this is funny that somebody wrote this. A small brass key and the oxidation tarnish suggested inadvertent consumption of said key sometime between 1979 and 1981, probably in Buffalo. I don't know how the fuck they figured that out, but apparently Jerry had a hotel key from Buffalo inside of his stomach that had been there the whole time and just never went away. Further examination found a bottle cap, a pipe screen, and a mascara brush.
That can't be true.
No, I don't think so.
A mascara brush.
I don't know how. I was just reading stuff about the dead one day and just stumbled upon that. I'm thinking, if anything, to give this a pipe screen. I mean, the guy smoked a lot of different things.
Yep.
A pipe screen. Maybe he's trying to smoke out of a pipe and just, you know what I mean? Like, suck you down.
Oh, that can't be.
He was about to get busted. He had a mascara brush to clean the pipe and a bottle cap for some other reason and a key. And he was those can all be used for things, nefarious things.
They can.
Then I think a cop was coming up, and he was a bigger guy. His reaction was just to eat it. I don't know.
I can get rid of this. Or maybe it was just in a cheeseburger.
So, like, we went to a show at Darien Lake, and it was Fish wasn't together at the time. It was Trey and Mike playing with Benevento Russo duo, and they did that grab tour.
Okay.
And they were opening for Phil and Friends.
Ah.
It was a pretty epic show, man. It was great. So we're at Darien Lake, and we're with our buddy who, like, was just such an innocent, sweet guy. And he's, like, a good guy. He went on to live a great life. He's going to have an amazing career. He's just a good guy, and he just liked us weirdos. And, like, just, like, little stoner kids. And he, like, went to a concert with his buddies, and, like, dude, he just got thrown into a world. He was just amazed by everything. But it was the same concert where he lit my hat on fire. But we were there, and like, dude, I don't even think the music had started yet. We were up in the lawn, and you know how you can rent those little fold-out chairs?
Yeah.
For the lawn?
Yeah.
I hear, like, my friends giggling and, like, being weird, and I look, and I see someone just tapping a guy on the shoulder and point behind us, and I look back, and there's a dude's face, and it's just sloshed. He's just hammered, and he's just staring straight ahead. And that's the first thing I see. He's got, like, a beer next to him or in his hand. And then as my eyes focus out, I just see the bobbing of a head.
Really?
Yeah. And like this dude was just getting favors from his lady, like in daylight, in the lawn.
Wow.
Not under anything, just like, dude, it was I can picture it in my head right now, clear as day. And
That's
then
amazing.
We looked at our innocent friend that we brought to this. He was going to go to a concert with his buddies.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is different. This ain't Tuesday in the park, dude.
Yeah.
And he was just like shy. He's just like, oh my God, what the fuck? What is going on? What did these guys bring me to? That was a good time.
Can they do that?
Well, they were.
Right.
And there was another time we were skateboarding at Art Park in the in not the first parking lot, but the second parking lot. And it's just a big parking lot, and then next to it is like a grass hill. And there was a couple having like a picnic on the hill. And it's like right next to the road and like parking, obviously this parking lot and the other parking lot. And they were, we saw them kind of doing something funny. They were weirdness happening under a blanket.
Okay.
And then so we kept watching. And then, yeah, sure enough, they were doing all sorts of stuff. They were obviously into... We were children at the time, by the way, I think. Maybe 17, the oldest one of us. We're skateboarding in a parking lot. We're not adults. These people are criminals. And they were very clearly, like, up to some shit. And, like, then they moved and you could see her ass under the thing. And we were all just laughing and watching them. And then our friend's dad came to pick them up and, like, parked right next to him. It's good times. You don't see stuff like that anymore.
No. So my one of my girlfriends came into the bar the other day, and she goes, "Aaron, you're not going to believe this." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I got to show you this." She's like, "It's insane." So she works in the Falls, and across from where her office is like, just like worn down shit. You know, it's nothing, you know, just like half the Falls is. And she's like, "Look at this." And so she shows me this video, and I look, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Focus in on that guy." And I'm like, so I like look a little bit more, and I'm like, "The fuck is he doing?" She goes, "Right?" And I go, "Is he fucking jerking off?" She goes, "Yeah, right in the parking lot across the street from my office, just like standing there in the parking lot jerking off." I'm like, "Oh my God." And he definitely was.
Yeah.
It was just so fucked up. I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? You're like in the wide open daylight." Like,
that's his thing, or he's just an insane person. And it's just like...
he looked homeless.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's... I don't know. Maybe that's his spot. He likes it. You got to get it done.
Maybe that's his spot. Like most people's spot is their bedroom.
Yeah. He likes it there, the view. I don't know. Was he looking back at her?
No. He couldn't see her. She was up in her office, you know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's possible that he passed a cute chick on the street
and just had to get it done
where his box is, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I'm not going to make my box all dirty."
No, this is my home.
Yeah. I better go out to the parking lot. I got to get this out.
That's romantic, I guess.
Yeah.
Self-love, everybody. Practice self-love.
Right.
Yeah. There was a story that I saw at a festival that I still haven't wrapped my head around, and I'm gonna work it out, hope with some therapy,
Okay.
and to figure out if I really saw what I think I was seeing. It was fucking weird, man. One day on the show, I can't get into that right now. So Sundays at the Jug.
Yeah. All right, that story's for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I am the dates are a little bit tentative right now, but I think I'm going to be doing a trip at the end of the month here to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, I'm pretty excited about it. I've never been to Milwaukee. I've heard good things. I've heard the city is very similar to like Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of beer and sausage and cheese, which I love all of those things. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how I could possibly have a bad time. And Miller Park, where the Milwaukee Brewers play baseball, is I just love the way that park looks. I love the way it feels. I watch a lot of baseball, and I've always wanted to go there. So I'm just like, I kind of finally decided, like, I'm going this summer. Like, I don't care. I'm just doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what you got to do.
Well, so I start planning this trip, like, and my buddy from Michigan was in town, and he's like, "Hey, man, I think I'm going to come home the last week of June, which is the week that I plan on doing this." And he's like, "I'm off for, like, 13 days, so I think I'm going to come back home again and hang out." And I'm like, "You know what you should do? You should meet me in Milwaukee." And he goes,
in Milwaukee.
And he just goes, Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't even ask me any other questions. And then I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, man, for sure. He's like, what are we doing there? And I go, well, I've always wanted to see a fucking Brewers game at Miller Park. And I go, and then I found out that it's Summerfest that week, which means for 3 miles along Lake Michigan, like every like half mile or something like that, they just set up a big stage right on the lake there, and bands play.
And they probably have tents and
Yeah,
beer and
exactly.
all the things you named are all in one spot.
And I think it's like
The sausage, the beer.
yeah. So this guy that I know who's actually from Milwaukee was in the Jug the other day, and I was asking him about it, and he's like, yeah, I think you pay like $25 for like a 3-day pass. And I'm like,
What?
I'm like $25 for a 3-day pass. I'm
What's
like,
going on? Is Milwaukee like a secret paradise?
I don't know,
and they
but I
just
was
don't
like,
advertise it?
I was like, are you sure? Because that seems overly reasonable. And then I'm like, are these just like local high school bands? Is it the marching band? Are they just raising money for a new trumpet? I wasn't really sure. So he's like, no, dude, there's like he's like, there's a lot of local,
Yeah.
bands obviously playing in this thing, He's like, but there's some pretty good bands on the lineup. And I'm like, there's featured bands, obviously. And there's, but I mean, it's like a 10-day thing.
Wow.
And you can get I think you can get the 10-day pass, but I don't think most people really can do the whole 10 days.
Yeah, Jesus. There's probably a couple who do. And by the end of it, they're just delirious.
Oh, God, yeah. But I was like, well, I'm only going to be there for a few days, and I want to catch a couple ball games and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you can get like a 3-day pass for like $25, I think. And I was like, what? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, and I'm like, and you just keep walking up and down the beach of the lake? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, well, kind of, so. Anyway, so.
That'd be funny if Milwaukee is just everything's cheap. They always do fun shit. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
And there's always like, come to Cleveland. And Milwaukee's like, no, we're good. Don't come here. It's perfect. And we don't want anybody to find out.
Right.
You never know. It's a sneaky little city.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll move there.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not moving to Milwaukee. But it may become a frequent stop of mine if that works. If it's all good. So I've been told that I got to go to Brady Street. I guess Brady Street's like the main
drag.
Yeah. So
Meet me in Milwaukee.
And
That sounds like an old movie.
and I hate Tom Brady, so I'm kind of struggling with it a little.
That you have to go to Brady Street? Does
Yeah.
it have anything to do with him? It's just
No, nothing.
So you don't watch the Brady Bunch?
I used to until Tom Brady came along.
What about Wayne Brady?
What about Wayne Brady?
Don't even fucking bring him up in my house. Goddamn.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
But no.
That's so funny, the visceral reaction that guy gets out of people.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the trip.
Yeah, dude.
So I started looking at B&Bs like right off Brady Street, and not Tom Brady Street, just regular Brady Street, and so that should be fine. And I'm pretty excited. The ballpark is like exactly 2 miles from downtown, so that's a perfect little Uber ride. Like I'm not even gonna rent a car or anything.
Yeah, this is probably
There's
a
no
tight
need.
little city.
So
That's fun. I like those trips. Mm-hmm. Where it's not like you just kind of going to hang out somewhere for a little bit.
pretty much.
Like you go for like events sometimes and it's kind of hectic scheduling and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like when you just go to a place just to hang out and chill and go catch a ball game and go to a thing, like you just kind of soak up the vibe there.
Yep.
Rather than like an aggressive trip where you're trying to consume something.
Yeah. And like I looked, the days that are my options for games, I guess. There's like giveaways like every night, like
Like how they do the ice cream in the helmet, like that, like Bat Day.
yeah, but yeah, they're not. I always wondered about Bat Day. It seems very dangerous.
Yeah, let's give them all bats.
Let's give everyone in the stadium a bat.
Dude, there was one story.
But it's Prince Fielder bobblehead day on Sunday.
Oh, so you get a bobblehead?
Yeah, so I'm going to that one for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
There was one story. I forgot who it was. Sometime like in the 70s. There was a a stadium did like 10-cent beer night. And
Jesus.
like, yeah. And they did it once.
They did it once.
The guys kept throwing shit at the other team from the stands. Somebody fucking threw a cherry bomb into one of the dugouts.
Oh my god.
They were all getting in fights, and like there's footage of it, and it's just fucking chaos. It looks like a riot.
Oh my god.
There's like smoke bombs going off. Oh, it's so funny. I would do like 10-cent beer night at 7:30, and everyone's we got 10-cent beers. That's cool. 10-cent beer night 9:45. Chaos.
Total chaos.
All right, we're gonna take a break. Captain's jug of thoughts there, huh?
Left a bottle in a nightstand. She know I like go deep, not a light fan. Bring another bottle of a bent up Fernando. Checking on the time, any updates? I mean, I wanna live nights and enough days. I got a letter in line with the book I made. She got excuses on her shoulder. She can't make it back to Boulder. The Syracuse is so much colder now. Leave on my night ran. Seventh day down, but a long time since. I need a secretary, keep it all in print. I know. We used to stop and
You
buy.
playing us in fast forward?
No, that was a click track, like to keep
Who's
us on
ready?
time. Yeah. Welcome back to the show.
What is that, Morse code?
Yeah, it keeps us in time. All right, Captain's jug of thoughts. We came back. West Virginia stories. Go.
Yeah.
I don't have a good intro. Go.
That's
And be funny.
So I used to go to West Virginia like all the time. I had a couple friends that went to college at West Virginia University. So, and Morgantown is, or at least was at that time, one of the most fun places on earth. That was like, I mean, we're going back almost 25 years now. Jesus. Playboy was kind of in their heyday then. And Playboy rated West Virginia University the #1 party school in the nation,
Oh,
like 5
nice.
years running. And it was like the whole time I was going there.
Wow.
So it was fun. It was really, really fun. We had a couple of guys from here, like their soccer team was really good, like because Andy Liardini and Matt Tanzini, who are the two best soccer players.
There's no way that's two real people.
They're the two best soccer players in like the history of Newport. They both went to school there, and they were like in the top 10 in the nation in scoring.
What
both
are
of
their
them.
names? One more time. I want-
Andy Liardini and Matt Tanzini.
That sounds delicious.
Well, and like they, their nicknames though. Well, Tanzini was Zini, but Andy Liardini was Head because he had a big head. so it was always like Zini and Head, which is a whole nother thing.
It's so funny.
Yeah. What were their names again? You're making that up.
That's a cartoon character.
Anybody that works over at the Gas and Grill knows exactly who I'm talking about because they both played soccer with Mark Nicola Haji, who owns the place.
Okay.
So, they're probably like, oh, I've heard stories about those guys, because, like, Newport soccer, we're the best team in, like, the nation. Like,
Really?
we had back then. We were, like,
Wow.
at least in the state.
That fucking shrunk real quick.
We were really, really fucking good.
Yeah. Do the best in the universe or the county, maybe somewhere in between.
Yeah. We won our first game.
Yeah.
So, this one particular time.
So those guys went to West Virginia too?
Yeah, they both went
yeah.
to West Virginia University. Like Tanzini was one of the ones. He was one of my best friends. He was one of the ones that I went down there to see.
And they're like rock star soccer players.
Yeah,
That's badass.
yeah. So Andy actually has this one story. He was like talking to some girl at this bar.
Is this a story where we're gonna have to cut out his funny name?
No. No, it's not that big of a deal, but shit, I can't remember who it was, but he's got the story. He's talking to this chick, and like he thinks he's making some good Head way, because his nickname's Head. And he goes to the bathroom and he comes back and he's like, "Oh man, what the fuck? She's already talking to another dude." And it was the quarterback of the football team.
Oh, jeez.
And he's like, "Ah." He's like, you're not topping the quarterback of the football team at
Really?
a big university like that.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like, you're
If
just
you
not.
were in like Spain, yeah, sure.
That's a different football.
But then everybody there has a funny name. You're not going to stick out. Everybody there's got a big head too. I've been there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Everyone there's got a big head.
Couldn't
too.
find a hat in the whole goddamn place that fit me.
A lot of bow-legged women.
Yeah, I guess. But that's okay. So the captain of the soccer team is like the bass player of the quarterback's the lead singer.
Yeah.
And then his buddy's the guitar player. So this is like soccer players like he's not I'd say soccer player is like the keyboard player.
He's the keyboard
a
player.
little more exotic, but still, sensual.
Sure. Yeah. So anyway, that's funny. But like, so this one particular time I go down there, and my buddy, you're gonna laugh again because, so his roommate's name was Mike Iannelli, and so Iannelli, Leardini, and Tanzini. It's just a school full of Italians. So anyway, we go down, and his buddy Mike Iannelli's father like ran all the concessions for like the whole county where like Morgantown was. And so like whenever there was a football game, he was in charge of all the concessions.
Yeah.
So we weren't even 21 yet, and we all got like these VIP passes that like you wore around your neck. You've had those.
Yeah.
With the card on it, and you can just go in that. They don't question anything.
That's awesome.
Like it was great. So we're just getting boozed up all morning. The game's at like freaking noon. So you start drinking at like 8 a.m. And,
Yeah.
And it's like one of the best games that I've ever seen. Like they played Syracuse, I believe this was the Syracuse game, and which is a pretty big rivalry.
Yeah.
And it was just like touchdown, like back and forth,
College,
and forth.
I mean, I don't know shit about sports, but college sports is like there's a lot of heart in it. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Like it's real. Like the NFL is obviously people care about it.
Sure.
But it's just such a massive money institution. College feels a little more punk rock. Feels a little more like there's real passion and pride there.
There absolutely is. And there's a shit ton of money in that too, but
Yeah.
no one that plays gets any of it.
Yeah, that's all confusing.
Yeah, I know. It's very confusing, and there's
But they can get
million
endorsements.
I don't know. I mean, trust me, the good ones get money.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And they just got to be really careful about the way that they hide it because you kind of get in a lot of trouble. But
Yeah.
anyway, back and forth, and then the West Virginia wins like at the end of the game. Like, and the score was ridiculous. It was like 48-42 or something like that.
Wow.
It was great. Like it was
Action packed.
action packed. It was fantastic, super fun. So, whenever West Virginia wins, the entire stadium sings that song by John
I
Denver.
was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
So like all you and
was it.
Morgantown is much like how we were just talking about like Greece and Italy, how like
Yeah.
they just add a house or add a spot and add a
Yeah,
spot
yeah,
on the sides
there's-
of these
yeah.
mountains. Morgantown is very similar to
Where
that.
it seems like it's all just a bunch of condos like tacked onto each other. And
Yeah,
it's
like-
all one.
Like
big
you can't
thing.
have a stick shift there. Like,
Yeah,
because you'll just end up at the bottom of the mountain all the time. Or you got to be real good at it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're walking back from the stadium through like, through the streets and the foothills of the mountains and everything
Yeah.
like that. And you just hear, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Like, throughout the whole fucking, like if you stop,
Throughout
if
the
your
mountain.
group stops singing, you can just hear it like echoing everywhere.
I can picture it.
It was so fucking cool. Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this is badass, dude. Like it's just really cool. So people just continue to get shit faced, and as the sun starts going down, everyone starts throwing their furniture out into the street and lighting it on fire.
It started so nice.
It's great, dude. So there's bonfires like all over the place. It's a really fun time.
I'm just saying, it started.
There's
as
just
like,
nowhere to sit.
was singing a John Denver song peacefully, all kumbaya like, and then throwing shit out and lighting it on fire.
It was a good time, man.
It's just tradition, I guess.
Yeah, it's great there.
Yeah, that's cool. And you could be the outsider guy. You know what I mean? Like, you were just the guy from... It's always great to be the guy from out of town.
Yeah.
Because you're not attached to anything. You don't really give a shit.
Well, I went there so often that everyone
you
knew who I
became-
was. Everyone was like, "Hey, Aaron, how were classes this week?" I'm like, huh? They're like, "Just kidding. We know you don't go here." But I was there a lot. You know, like I went down there a bunch. You know,
Yeah.
it was great. We had like a fantastic time down there. I remember another time we like we were gonna go on like an adventure because we took some stuff to go on an adventure.
Right.
And so we decided to go on this adventure, and we all pile into like these pickup trucks. So it's because it's West Virginia, and there's like
It's the only thing that they have.
a half a dozen of us in the back of these pickup trucks, and it seemed like we were going like 75 miles an hour around all these mountainous turning roads.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, one of us is gonna get thrown from this thing.
Yeah.
Like I kept thinking that, you know, like. So anyway, and then I'm like, where the fuck are we going anyway? Like I don't have a clue what's going on, you know. So we end up on this fucking like completely deserted road at the edge of these woods, and I'm like, what's going on, guys? Like, this
Yeah,
is like
this
straight
is
out of
crazy.
Deliverance.
Yeah, really.
It really was. Like, it was like straight out of Deliverance, and they're like, just trust us, it's fine. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
pretty mouth.
yeah.
You Yankee. You got a pretty Yankee mouth there.
Exactly. So anyway, we end up we walk like what seemed like a mile, but it was probably 50 yards down this trail, and it opens up into this lake in the middle of the woods. It was cool as shit.
Yeah.
And then it had this, like, there was this huge old fucking tree that had this this giant like chain with a big round bar or like ring on the end of it, like
Like a tire swing, like a swing, right? For the
yeah,
lake? Yeah.
like 40 or 50 feet like above the water. Like it was
Oh,
high,
wow.
dude. Like
Wow.
it was cool as fuck. So like we all did that, and then there was a tree growing out of the middle of the lake and had all these huge branches on it. So, you know, we wrapped up a bunch
Dude,
of
that sounds like the perfect place for an adventure.
yeah, it
For
was
a magical
fantastic, dude.
adventure, yeah.
So this tree is in the middle of the lake. So we wrap up a bunch of, well, someone already knew, wraps up a bunch of joints in like a Ziploc.
Yeah.
We all go off the rope swing into the water, swim the 100 feet or whatever it is, out to this tree, get up in the tree, and we're all sitting in this tree above the water, and we fucking just fire up all these joints and start passing them around.
Dude, that's pretty wild.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so fucking cool, man. Like, I was like, dude, now this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know?
This is some one with nature shit.
My one buddy, I remember, we got like halfway to the tree. He's like, I can't make it. I'm going back. And we were like, it's the same distance. Just keep going. He's like, I can't do it. I got to go back. I'm exhausted. I'm like, man, I don't know. It was really fucking funny. I
That's-
can't
yeah.
make it.
That sounds magical.
Yeah, it was, yeah, you know, I mean, when you're 20, 18 to 20, it's kind of a magical time in your life as it is.
Yeah. You look back on all that and, like, you know, everything was a little brighter. And because it was everything for the first time. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly. You
Like,
know.
yeah, I remember just, you know, yeah, going to shows a lot because that's when you would travel and you'd find
Yeah.
places like that. You'd find little pockets that some weird little town had, and
Yep.
everything was this adventure and all this shit. And now, like, traveling is just like, I got to make sure my phone's charged so I can just turn everything off.
I know.
I don't want to look at anything. I don't give a shit about your adventure or your view.
Right.
I gotta go to fucking Cleveland. You know what
I
I
know.
mean? Traveling is just a hassle now. Before it was so magical.
It was. It was so much fun.
Okay, that reminded me of two things. A pickup truck story. We were on the porch of the Jug, And something must have been going on at the fort, like a soccer tournament for like high school girls or something, because this pickup truck pulls up to the stoplight.
Yeah.
And the light's red. And all these girls are in the back of the truck and they're playing music and they're all just like dancing and making fun of us and doing like mean girls. Like, yeah, and like being funny to like get attention because they thought like the truck was going to keep going. And like they were being silly. And like when the truck, like they were like, oh, the truck's going to take off and we're going to make fun of you. And as soon as the truck like took off and took the corner, like all these girls just toppled over. And like they all fell on top of each other in the back of the truck. And they're all embarrassed. It was funny. I just remember laughing really hard at that.
Now who's laughing, bitch?
Yeah. And the furniture thing. Our buddy Ken, G-Spot Puncher drummer. Ken,
Yeah.
a dear friend of ours. He's lived. We got to next time that dude comes up here, we got to get him on. He has lived.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
such
doing
the life of 50 men.
right.
And he continues to do so. So like he was talking the LA riots. He worked the LA riots. He was in like the National Guard. He was in some sort of military thing. I forgot what branch of the military.
Jesus.
But like like he was in LA on, you know, we did
That's
a video.
amazing.
We did a podcast about it years ago and we did a video, but I'll have to see if any of that still exists. But yeah, like he was on a building, like looking out over the city smoking. But he said that there was right where his post was at was a furniture store on the corner. And like we looked all this shit up, like right on the corner he was talking about, there's a fucking furniture store and there's video of people looting the shit out of the furniture store. And like, and he said like right next to it is a residential area. A nice way to put it. And he said there was the riots were on Saturday. And then the furniture store gets looted and it's empty. And on Monday, everybody's old furniture is out at the road. So the cops come in and they're just like, hey, we know we can put it together.
Yeah.
What happened here? You all threw your furniture away. You all just happen to get new furniture this weekend. I don't know. I bought that couch, motherfucker. That was funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that dude's got some stories. And he's like,
I would love to have Ken on the show. He's
one of those
he's an
dudes.
awesome
Like
dude.
everywhere he goes, he runs into like a legendarily famous person.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
like
pretty
he's
cool.
got ties. He's like Forrest Gump.
he's like Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
He's smarter.
a lot smarter.
Yeah,
Terrible at ping pong.
yeah. So they both have their pluses and their plus signs and negative signs.
Yeah,
Terrible at ping pong. Yeah. I can't remember what the other story was. So, what do you got
Yeah.
there?
the troll story,
No.
or we have Brokedown RV in Ohio. That was because I remember you bringing that up one time.
Right.
I think you guys were going to a Dead show, and you're like, "That's a story for another time."
Well,
But
we did go to a dead show. That was Buckeye Lake, Ohio. We were kind of like toward the tail end of I don't know, like a 5 or 6 show stint. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember exactly the order of everything that when it happened. But Buckeye Lake, there was I don't know, and I might be remembering this like slightly different than it actually happened, but this is all it's pretty damn close. There was like a stone road that kind of led out to the amphitheater area. And there was like tons of, hippies and everything, like all over the place, like walking up and down the road and stuff like that. Well, there was like a hill part, and the RV we already knew was in rough shape. Now, before this, like the night before, when we were driving from city to city, we were like playing euchre in the back at like the at the little table, and all of a sudden, like there's just like. We're like, what the fuck is that? We can kind of see something out the window, and we pull the curtain to the side, and there's just sparks flying everywhere, and we're like, what the fuck? And he just he took the exit a little bit too quick.
when he hit the thing,
And he was, so the guardrail was just all the way along the side of the RV, shooting sparks everywhere. We were like, what the fuck's going on? Hey, you're hitting stuff. I know. I got it. So, that was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
But the RV was like, it was starting to get in kind of rough shape. I mean, you got 17 high school kids driving around in an RV for 2 weeks.
Taking tight corners,
or a
yeah.
week, or I don't know how long, but yeah, taking tight corners. So we're not making it up this hill. Like, and, we're like kind of all in there like, come on, baby, you
Trying
can
to
do it.
momentum it forward.
So as we're still going like 8 miles an hour, like we saw the hill coming and we're like, we ain't gonna make it, like, so we're all jumping out the side door and we start pushing.
Yeah.
Like as we're going, and we're getting up to the hill part. And sure enough, like we're slowing down. Hippies came out of the woodwork, dude.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden there was 50 people pushing this fucking RV up this hill. And we made it. I was like, dude, I love these people.
Hippies are magical creatures.
They really are. It was fucking great. So we and Buckeye Lake was also the same show that that Jerry did me the personal favor.
Yeah, knock that
It's
girl
the
out.
same show.
Yeah, I need him to do that at the jug a couple times.
Yeah, right. So that whole venture in general, our adventure.
Yeah, like we were saying, he's young too. Like now that still sounds pretty fun. If you had unlimited money, and now we have Uber and like
Yeah.
like it seems to be like you don't get those adventures, but it is a lot easier. It's a lot less of a hassle.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of adventures like that when I was a kid, and they were all really fun. And like, you just didn't care about stuff either.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember we were going to some thing where we stayed in the car overnight, like on the drive. Like it was a couple day drive, and we didn't get a place to stay. We just like parked somewhere, and I was sleeping in the car, and like two of the other guys are like couldn't get comfortable, so they grabbed their sleeping bags and went, and like we were like in a parking lot of like a fucking shopping center or something, by like a bank or something.
right.
And like they went and slept out just on the grass in their sleeping bags. And I'm like, I feel weird about that. I don't know. I don't want anybody fucking with me. I don't know. I liked being in a locked car.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I don't know where we are. We're in some strange town. And they're like, yeah, fuck you, blah, blah. And it was a whole thing. And I'm sleeping in the passenger seat, and like crack of dawn, I hear the very distinct noise of and his fucking sprinklers go off.
Oh,
And
God.
I just knew exactly what it was. And I just opened my eye, and I see them running around with their sleeping bags. Now they're soaked. Their sleeping bags are fucking soaked. That was funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I was like,
I made a wise decision.
yes. Playing it safe.
That's right. That's fantastic.
See, now if that happened to
Running
be
around.
now, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Right.
God damn it. I am a Hilton Platinum member. I shouldn't be sleeping on the lawn.
What
God
am I
damn it.
doing?
Yeah. Good times, man. They're still, the kids are still doing it.
Yeah.
They're going to see old John Mayer there. We were at the mall the other day, and I'm in like, fancy fashion-y stores with like, Groove is in the heart. The fucking disco music's playing.
Yeah.
And like, it's just the whole shopping center thing. And I look down, and there's like a fucking tattered Grateful Dead shirt for like $60 on the rack.
What?
And I'm just like, yeah, like in some high fashion thing. And I'm like, God damn, John Mayer.
Yeah. What the fuck?
It's funny.
$60.
Yeah.
That shirt should be like $12.
Yeah. A burrito. I should have gone to like the gay kid who worked there and been like, all right, bro, I got 2 burritos, a
Yeah.
couple fat rolls of Kind Bud. What can you do on this shirt? Like start haggling to them, like where I got a couple of chocolates.
He would have been confused.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why would you say such a thing?
I'll help you guys push your RVs up the hill, bro.
Yeah.
This is how it works, man. I think when society collapses, that shit's going to keep going.
Yeah.
If they can get some electricity, just still have a show, that society will keep going. And
yeah.
a lot of those people are going to be completely unaware that the rest of the world has ended.
Yeah. Oh, they won't have a clue.
They won't have a clue. For like
No.
10 years, they're going to be like...
For like 10 years.
Yeah.
They'll be like, how come every store in every town shut down now?
Yeah. It is, man. It's a different world. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that, the more you learn about it, the more interesting it gets.
That's true.
It's a fucking religion. It's a different world. Like, I go to a lot of different shows, and I have a lot of different circles of musical friends.
Right.
That shit's different. There's something going on there.
Right.
Something cosmic.
Something totally cosmic. It's fucking fantastic, man.
And people are like, yeah, it's the drugs. It's like every fucking band does drugs. Everybody does drugs.
Yeah.
That's the only group, like, Guns N' Roses does a lot of drugs, and it's a different vibe. Their whole band has a different vibe.
Totally different.
Than, this whole thing is. And the way it keeps going.
Well,
And I feel like responsible to help keep it going, so we'll be playing some Grateful Dead music at the Jug Sunday
there we go.
on the 6-string banjo.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet.
And then we're going to do, your Friendly Foes fun dance party.
Oh, that guy's going to come check out that piano, too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's get a piano fix. I'm going to start doing, I want to do like Billy Joel. Like, I'm going to come in like a shitty suit, like a loose tie.
Dude, that'd be awesome,
Like
man.
I came out of the bank.
Yeah, you
And
should
just
totally do that.
Put
It
a
would be
jar
fucking
on
hilarious.
the thing and just be like the old beat up, like in an old James Cagney movie or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it, man. I'm down for that.
Pianos are great, man. I play my piano all the time. I beat
Yeah.
the shit out of it.
So, I don't know for sure, and he didn't seem to know either, I don't think. If he can definitely
Come
fix
to
it.
the Jug and spend all your money on Sunday so we can get the piano fixed.
Yeah. We're starting a piano fund.
Yeah.
So we can wheel that thing outside and everybody can have a good time. It's a good cause.
Yeah, for sure. You're providing fun for everybody.
Exactly.
All right. Captain's Jug of Thoughts. This has been a late night show from
Yeah.
the captain's quarters.
That's right. We're all exhausted.
Yeah. We spent a little time on the deck. Mm-hmm. It's nice out there.
It is nice out there.
It
We'll
is gonna
be
be a
doing a
fun
show.
summer.
We'll do
Yeah.
a show from out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be
Actually,
fun.
you're playing this weekend, and then
Yeah.
the next weekend, we've got Slim Chance and the Not Quite Playboys.
Okay.
We could do a show from up there when they're playing.
Yeah, we could do that. Because we'll need to do one by then.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but actually, it'll only be like 10 days. So
Sure.
that's cool. We back this one up. We'll move that one forward.
Yeah,
There we go.
that works. And I'm sure the next one we're going to be like, God, it's been so long.
Yeah, I know.
All right. If you have any requests, anything you want to say, you can get a hold of us. We got a Facebook page.
Yep.
We got to go post a thing. Post some requests for music because I record a lot of when we play at a lot of the music I use on the show is Friendly Foes.
Yeah.
And so I got a lot of that. And I got some other music. I'm going to start throwing a lot of music on this show. It'll pad the timing. It'll fill it in
We're
a little
running
bit.
out of stories already.
No. No, we have plenty of stories, but then there's ones like, that's incriminating.
Yeah.
I'm going to check the statute of limitations on that one before I say anything.
Yeah, I got to call my lawyer all the time. I'm like, can I
Yeah.
tell this story?
We should have a lawyer that sits here and just starts shaking his head.
Yeah, I know. He writes us notes
Yeah.
like during the show.
Reword
Stop saying that.
that. Just don't say her age. All right.
Yeah. So
Captain's Jug of Thoughts.
we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
All right.
Yep. I was going to make that like a phone call where you're just like, yeah, yeah, okay, all
As I
right.
was taking off my earphones,
Okay.
I was like wondering if you were doing that. I
Okay.
was like, is he doing a thing
All
right
right.
now?
All right. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay.
We used to stop and buy out the top of Davidson Park. We used to be home in the morning, now we're home before dark. And you're in Taurus, sliding out before the city was up. These things are for us now, the more of us are feeling unstuck. Davidson Park. We used to be home in